Hello and welcome to the Legends and Minions tournament, where we have pro players coaching, well, not so pro players. We are going to start off on Twin Rivers. We have got, let me just double check, Blackheart coaching a team and Turinturambar coaching. So these guys are going to be yelling and screaming at their minions, trying to make them do what they need to do. What we'll be seeing is the Legends control carrying their ACUs, so they are part of the game. They will be continuing to observe and continuing to yell, and I'm sure get very, very frustrated at their minions for failing to win the game. Well, at least one of them will anyway. Okay, so we're going to head on over to Twin Rivers in just a moment. Let's just quickly have a look at the challenge board. We can see we have got Blackheart's biceps. We've got Turinturambar's children of what? Huron. Okay, sure. Those guys are going to battle it out. We have got Bladear's stack wizards, who may not be so well stacked. We'll have to wait and see, against Mephi's anus. And then we've got Luxie taking on Zolo. So we've got a lot of heavyweights here, but will that translate into pro minion action? I don't know about you, but it should be entertaining. It's going to be interesting. All right, so we are Legends and Minions. Let's head on in to some action. And let's go. All right, what have we got here? There go the pro ACUs up in flames. Now, I don't even know what the teams are, so let's just jump on into one team's perspective. There we go. We are playing North versus South. Let's go and have a look who we have got. We have got Sir My Lord, who is going to play Cybran. He's going to start off with not a factory. Okay, so Sir My Lord is rated 1300. He's going to throw down 2 power generators, so we're probably going to see some very early bombing campaigns from him. We have got beside him on the island, or the next piece of land over at least, from in the mainland in Twin Rivers, Wounded Elk. He is also going Cybran. He is going to get his first land factory down. He's working on a couple of power generators. Then he'll be grabbing his 4 core mixers and immediately getting to work on that reclaim. Nice to see there. And then finally, down on the south, we have got Tagada, I never know how to pronounce his name. He has got his UEF faction on. He's got his land factory down. He's got 2 power generators and his core mixers underway. Alright, we've got a bit of a hydro play from him. Okay, anyway, let's carry on with the northern team. We have got GFY Deponi. He is going Cybran. We can see, well, hang on just a minute here. Deponi, 1400. What are these minions are just a little bit lower rated than the pros. I was expecting some real noobs for some hilarious action, but these guys can actually play the game by themselves. What do they need Legends for? Oh, whatever. Okay, we've got Cybran for Deponi. He is going to go triple land and quadruple land. Okay, so land all day. He's going to be playing very, very aggressively on the mainland there. We have got Photonic. He's going to go UEF. He's throwing down a stack of power generators to get second air up and running. And he's got a little bit of reclaim going on. Maybe Blackheart should yell at him a bit harder to get some more reclaim engineers, especially this guy here who's doing absolutely nothing. Alright, and last but not least, we have got What a Noob, who, well, what's his rating? 1300. Well, not really so much of a noob. Not What a Noob at all. But he is Seraphim. He is going to go with the first air factory, which is going to make it very handy to get a transport out and get him over to the mainland nice and quickly. We can see a second factory actually going to go down there as well. Alright, we can see a nice early bomber. Actually, it wasn't a bomber, it was a jester, that first one out. We've got an early bomber there from Waterloo, but we've got this pesky jester coming over to annoy the heck out of Deponi over this way. We've got a response Sky Slammer coming out to deal a bit of damage to him, but it's going to take a little while to burn through the HP on that jester. It does force it to move off though. He ends up at about 50% HP, but if he was to come down here, he could pick off these expanding engineers. That is exactly what he's doing. That's a ping there, probably from Blackheart himself. Well, actually, who is the team leaders? I think I saw Blackheart on the south. Someone correct me anyway. But that does go down. The expansion is temporarily stopped at least, but now there is an interceptor out for Photonic, so that interceptor is going to take the jester down. Actually, it looks like a pretty heavy air game from these guys in the north. There are now half a dozen interceptors out compared to just 1 or 2 from the south team. Alright, the expansion is, well, consisting mostly of anti-air units. That is going to slow Deponi down quite a lot. He's got no engineering power in the vicinity, and he won't have any for quite some time. It's going to be very slow expansion for him. How is his mirror down here doing? That is Tagada. He's actually got an engineer almost in place. That could go down to a bomber if there is another one handy. I don't believe there is. It looks like these guys have switched over to transport production. So they've got their transports out and they are bringing guys over to the mainland. Where is this transport going? It's actually going straight after the reclaim. So they're going to go in and steal that reclaim that is normally raced for from the starting position. Well, sometimes if you care about it, you can race for it. Anyway, he is going to grab that, so Photonic is going to get a little bit of a boost there. How are the reclaims going for these guys? Well, the main stack of rocks here has been reclaimed on the way out to that mix. There's still a heck of a lot of reclaim floating around all of these cliff faces, though. So still plenty for those guys to pick up. A little bit of an air engagement, and it looks like Tagada is actually going to go reasonably hard in the air game. He's got half a dozen or so interceptors so far, and that combined with Wounded Elk's interceptors probably means that they've got local air superiority. They've got enough just in the area. Well, if they focus them, they will. If they just idle them around, they probably won't do too well at all. Okay, so that's exactly what they did. They just got taken out. The local air superiority evaporated as the northern team brought all of their interceptors into play and just took them out. Alright, we've got Deponi's ACU just about at this expansion now, so it's taken a very long time to get his hands on any of that mass. We've already got a few mass extractors built down there from Tagada. Let's have a look at the generated ecos. We've got 39 for Tagada, and his mirror Deponi only on 25. So that early jester playing a big role in knocking back that eco from Deponi. We've got a little bit of a drop here. It looks like he's just going to drop pairs of units around to take out those expanding engineers. Although he didn't really need to do a drop there because he already had units on hand anyway. He would be much better to drop further back in the base, take out these mixers, take out these engineers, and try and balance up that eco game. Tagada now on 43, so he's just constantly improving that eco. He's captured all of these mixes here, and now he's going to start on these 4 core mixes over this way. How are we going down on the island down here? Well, Sir My Lord is just chilling. He's just standing there having a bud and not doing a heck of a lot with that ACU right now. He probably wants to be at least building with that guy. Wounded Elk is getting his build game on. He's got an upgrade to T2 mechs going on. There is a transport laden with engineers that is going to hopefully do some nice expansion, but I do suspect that these guys don't have a good enough hold on the mainland yet to actually be able to make it stick. There are so many units wandering around from Deponi, and all of the secure area, well, I say secure, but it's not even really that secure, is it? It's got Deponi's mantis walking all over it. in any case, there's not a lot of mexes or expansion points left for these guys to jump into, so it must be building a forward position. Those 6 engineers hopefully going to be building some factories and starting to produce some spam to put a little bit more pressure on Deponi, because right now Deponi has got at least he's got 2 teammates, both on the mainland. To be fair, Watanoob doesn't have a lot of production capability just yet, but there is quite a bit of spam coming out of Photonic. That means that there's pretty much 2 or maybe 3, 2.5 we'll say, onto 1 for Tagada, and he does not have much assistance from his teammates yet at all. There are 4 engineers left from that drop, now 3. Ouch, this is not going particularly well for Sir My Lord at all. He's going to back it on up, so Blackheart, I'm assuming is Blackheart is the coach for the bottom team. I think it is. Maybe just ping me if I'm wrong, somebody. And, well, he's told him to back it on up and build a factory forwards, because you do not want your engineers on the enemy side of your building, because then they're going to get taken out first. At least this way, if the Mantis come rolling in, they'll start attacking the factory first, and that'll buffer some HP and keep the engineers alive just a little bit longer. But Tagada is supplying a little bit of assistance here. He's got a few tanks. He does need to move them up just a little bit. Actually, no, there is an artillery in the mix. That artillery will take that out because it is a Lobo. The massive alpha strike on that UEF artillery does quite a bit of damage. The first land factory is up now for Sir My Lord. So now we have officially got 2 players from the southern team on the mainland. That is still going to be very, very well. Sorry, there's 3 because there is a small outpost there. But it doesn't really count because it is under such a massive amount of pressure. It is way too far forward. These guys really needed to build their factories a little bit further back, away from the front lines, give them a chance to establish some construction capability and actually get something up and running. Alright, are we going to see some T2 transports anytime soon to be able to get those other ACUs across to the mainland? Because they could be a bit of a game changer when they hit. So we have got this factory on upgrade here. It is actually very nearly completed. What about these guys up this way? We've already got Tech 2 Air, we've already got a Tech 2 Transport. We probably don't need to see the same from the other player because they can share that transport and just gift it over as long as they don't lose it on the transport run. So poor Tagada right now is having to face all of the land spam from all of these players by himself while these other guys get established. Well, Sir My Lord, well, not really too established yet. He needs a buttload more factories, and he probably needs a bit more economy as well. Resources, I was going to say, for resources or economy. 31, well, 19, that is maybe indicative of a power stall. Let's have a quick look at that. He is looking a little bit low on power for sure. This is looking a little bit bad for the South team right now, though, and they are about to be facing another ACU as well as Waternoobs is on the transport bound for the mainland. It is now on deck. Okay, and it is already upgraded as well, so he's already got that gun upgrade. That is going to just start tearing a new one in all of those Tech 1 units. There's also a nice Tech 1 bomber there to assist and a whole cloud of Tech 1 units. And what are these guys going to do to respond to this? They need some Tech 2 point defense, they need a gun ACU, they need something a bit tankier to face what is coming their way. So we can see that Tagada is just pulling his units back, and that's going to leave this little forward installation here from Wounded Elk completely out on a lurch, and it's going to go down pretty quickly. Meanwhile, there are a whole stack of Mantis over here from Deponi. They are wandering forwards to try and make a bit of a dent in this position here. So we can see Wounded Elk is actually trying to get an alternative position down, but unfortunately, again, he has selected a really far forward position, and that means that they are going to come under attack almost immediately. He really needs to be back here where it's a little bit further away, a bit more travel time, a bit safer, and start building that Tech 1 army. So the numbers are looking kind of even-ish on this side. If these guys can work together, they might be able to take out this forward force of Deponi. Of course, that leaves all of these guys back here as well. But this is looking absolutely lethal right now. This gun ACU is just leading the charge on this pack of Tech 1. Tagada really doesn't have anything to deal with it right now. Is he on upgrade? No, it looked like he might have been on upgrade because he is not walking right now. But I don't think that's the case. I don't think he's probably got quite enough resources to do it. He's got plenty of power, but he is really short on mass. He might be able to push out a gun upgrade if he really needed to. But it's not looking particularly good. He needs to keep his spam numbers up, and he needs to keep his units in a slightly better formation than they are right now, because they're in a bit of a cloud, getting picked off by those forward units, and continuing bomber pressure from Photonic, just managing to deal damage to those Tech 1 units. Fortunately for Tagada, this might be the only thing that saves him. He has made that T2 transition. He's got some pillars in there. Let's just have a quick look at how many pillars. Whoa, okay, not quite enough. He's got 9 in total, but only about 4 of them are anywhere near this front line over here. Not quite enough, but he has managed to put down a couple of triads. Well, he's got one down and another one just about completed. That is going to hold the area pretty well against the T1 spam coming down. But uh-oh, here comes another ACU. Photonic's ACU is joining the party. He is going to rock on up. He has probably got the gun upgrade as well. That looks like a gun upgrade to me. So he is going to just start dealing out 200 damage with every shot instead of the normal 100. And that ACU is going to just start having a nice wander across this tropical land. You can see how nice a day it is for stomping your enemy in the face. Alright, the ACU from Waternoog just continuing to lay down fire against those artillery that are trying to take out his point defense. A nice little overcharge there, only gets a couple of tanks though. But the ACU doesn't want to spend too much time in triad range. It's going to have to back up there because he's already down a couple of thousand HP just from that small foray into triad range. Well, we're starting to get some Tech 2 point defense over this way. Unfortunately, only a Cerberus turret because Wounded Elk is Cybran, but it is better than nothing. It does give that extra bit of range to ward off those annoying Tech 1 artilleries. We've got a little bit of an air engagement happening here. It looks like Wounded Elk has been looking at building up lots of air force. Unfortunately, not quite enough, and that was to try and cover this Corsair run. Unfortunately, only 3, was there maybe 4 Corsairs to start with? Well, there's another one back here. Not quite enough to do what they needed to do, and it is going to cost him all of his interceptors because he does not have the numbers there to take it out. Oh, unless he gets some good turns. He does have his unit placement a bit better than Photonic, who let his interceptors just straggle a little bit, and we've actually got some more Corsairs coming on in as well, so there's actually quite a few units trying to strike. So there was obviously the order coming down from up high, and that was build Corsairs and sniper player, and wow, it worked, didn't it? How about that? So we find that the North team is now down a player, so a very nicely coordinated attack there. The Pro obviously doing his job and getting the Corsairs built and relatively coordinated between the two lower rated players, managing to take out that ACU. Very, very nicely done indeed. But what is this? Whoa, we've got a push straight to T3 land from Deponi, and we've already got loyalists out on the field. That is going to be a little bit of a problem. Is that the HQ all the way forwards? Yes, it is. Deponi obviously pretty confident on retaining this position because that HQ is quite a way forward and is a bit more vulnerable than if you'd built it back at home. Alright, we've got a few Corsairs left over. Wonder if there's going to be any use for those guys. It's probably going to be a little bit tough now. We can see there's a bunch of flak floating around Deponi's base over here. We have got... Actually, there's very little AA. There's a single Tech 1 AA, a single mobile Tech 1 AA, and not a lot else. So unless there is enough interceptors to cover, which I think is probably pretty even. I think if Wounded Elk brought his interceptors in, he could probably make a good deal of those guys there. And the opportunity is now gone because Deponi has spotted that, or actually probably the pro, so I'm guessing Turinturambar has spotted that this ACU is quite vulnerable to air right now, and a couple of very handy flak have been airlifted in from Deponi and deposited right beside that ACU. Very, very nice team play to see. Alright, we've got a Loyalist rolling up, but unfortunately Tagada has actually been pushing for T3 as well, and he's already got a Percival out. So if that Loyalist runs into a Percival, it's not going to be much contest at all, but there's actually 3 Loyalists, which could make the game a little bit more even, and that is going to be a little bit harder, especially given the speed of those Loyalists. So Tagada might have a little bit of a problem dealing with those guys. If they can escape, they can do hit and run pretty effectively. Probably the biggest opening right now is going to be over on this right hand side of the mainland, because there is only T1 and a single Cerberus turret defending it. A couple of Loyalists could do a heck of a lot of damage to that position there. This one over here is guarded by, well, now 4 Percivals. That is not something that these Loyalists really want to contend with. They really want to back on up and hit a bit of a softer target, something that they can get in and cause a bunch of annoying damage, and then either get out again or move further back and continue to cause more damage. So unfortunately, just hovering around trying to take those Percivals on face to face, not really the best plan. Alright, let's check in with the air players and see how we're going if we're getting up to Tech 3 Air. Well, we've got an upgrade on the cards, but how are we going for power? Well, those Corsairs actually doing a really, really nice job of destroying the power, so that's going to be stalling out any attempts to get to Tech 3 Air over this way for What a Noob. He is going to have a very tough time now. In fact, he's got no air defenses at all, and those Corsairs are just absolutely wrecking. In fact, Corsairs, which are not known for their air-to-air capability, managing to take out the interceptor, the lone interceptor that What a Noob had on hand. So just no power at all. Let's just check out his economy situation. Well, he must be getting fed a whole lot of power, because he is still looking pretty happy indeed. Have we got more power over this way? Well, he's working on some replacement power, but he must be feeding entirely off Deponi right now, who is actually overflying 1k mass, so that's going to be keeping What a Noob alive. That doesn't change the fact, though, that there is still very little AA coverage over this base, and he's probably going to lose it all. He really doesn't want to do that, because he's got a lot of his mass income tied up here. If he was to lose the entire position, he would lose that mass, but there's not enough T1 AA to fend him off, kick him out of the area. Those Corsairs are going to have to go and find an easier target. Alright, we've got Loyalists over the right hand side now, trying to cause all sorts of damage. Not quite keen enough, I don't think. I think they've got enough there. There's another Loyalist in the pack there, so there's half a dozen of those guys. They could pretty easily come in and do a lot of damage. That is, of course, if they don't get taken out by Corsairs. Oh, standing still is not the best idea for them at all. So the Corsairs actually having a massive, massive effect on this game so far. And what is this? A Percival drop. Oh, this is going to be very, very painful for What a Noob. Now he's switched up his entire production on the island to anti-air. He suddenly finds himself under land assault and not much to deal with. Those 2 Percivals are going to be very, very difficult to deal with. So far, the offense was very, very solidly with the North team, but that snipe has shifted the balance very, very much in the favor of the South team, with the guys in the North being very much focused on defense right now. Even the pack of Loyalists that were prepared to attack, they did not. They're just hanging back very much in a defensive stature. Alright, we do have another stack of Loyalists rolling on up. And there's still a couple left in this bunch of T1, but Deponi just not looking very aggressive at all with these units. And that's actually given enough time for half a dozen Percivals to roll on into the area, and that's going to make it extremely difficult for Deponi to push now. If he had pushed a few minutes ago, it probably would have gone right through the front lines there, and it would have at least dismantled the defenses and all of the T1. But as it stands now, it's not going to be particularly easy for these guys to make their way through. There's just too much HP in Percivals, And there's still, of course, a decent number of Corsairs. Let's have a quick check-in with the numbers there. We're talking about, well, 7. Well, it's not too bad. But then when you add it to these guys over here, we've got another 11. That's 18 Corsairs. That is a lot of Corsairs. That's probably enough to get through a single shield and take out an ACU. How much AA is in the area? Well, there's a stationary flak. There's 2 stationary flaks. Yeah, there's a little bit of T1AA, but not a heck of a lot. And where are those Corsairs going? There is a ping going down, but there's not a lot that Deponi can do about it because he doesn't have enough air. So these guys are free to bring their 18 Corsairs in. What is the plan? Where is Deponi's ACU? Right there, and I do not see a heck of a lot of AA between those Corsairs and the ACU. Still on 10k HP. Oh, this is looking bad. Here we can see them in the distance. The Corsairs all rolling in. They're taking fire, though, from the T3 mobile AA that was there. There's a couple of flak in the vicinity as well. Are enough Corsairs going to survive to be able to do the deed? We're down to 4,200, 2,000 HP, and down goes Deponi. There was enough Corsairs, 18 Corsairs, and just not enough AA. So that left Deponi completely vulnerable to that run, and he went down in one pass. And that pretty much seals the deal for, well, I don't know which team it is. Has somebody given me a message yet saying which minions are which pros? I don't think so. Alright, and down goes Sir My Lord in a control K just to finish the game off. Alright, and there we have the first game of the Legends and Minions. Whoa, okay, so a couple of nice snipes there pretty much sealed the deal. So that was Twin Rivers. And that is the first one. So this is a Swiss style tournament, so it is points based. The guys are going to battle it out with each other. Whoever can score the most wins is going to take away the prize. Alright, so that's game 1. We'll see you in game 2.